Hello and welcome to Vietnam. This is the Dalat waterfalls just outside the city of Dalat, up in the highlands, central highlands, up about 5,000 feet in the air. And we're on a tour, and this was one of our stops. You can take this cart up and down, I think for 90,000 good Vietnamese dong.
Where are we gonna hold?
Huh?
Where are we gonna hold?
I don't think you're gonna fall out unless I push you out. I might push you out.
No.
I might throw you out. We had walked down a path to the waterfall, but we decided to take the cart back up because we saw a few people walking up and they were puffing and panting pretty good. This tour cost each of us, I think, the two of us individually cost us about 1 million Vietnamese dong a piece for a one-day tour. We about 12, 13 hours. And that converts to about 43 US dollars, 1 million Vietnamese dong. There were several activities available there. Our tour just included about an hour stop there to look at the various levels of the falls. And there were trolleys and like a cable car. This is a cable car we were in to go down to a lower falls. And kind of interesting, it went right over the falls, so you got a real good look from up above. I believe they had a zip line, a canyon tour, maybe some canyoneering, and a number of other activities there as well you can get involved in, but we were limited to an hour there. It was an interesting stop. I was photographing and taking video of nature and the waterfalls. Well, everyone else, it seemed, was taking selfies of themselves. Tens of thousands of selfies. Anyway, this is up top. They got refreshments and food, and this is the trail down. The Philippine I was with, she's told me that 5 years ago when she was here, this was only a dirt trail. Now they have some steps and a walkway going down. It wasn't a bad trip down. It did get a little bit steep in a few places. There are benches at intervals going up and down, and now you read this directions, the sign there, you know exactly what's ahead of you, what precautions to take. If you like waterfalls, you can get very close to this one and walk out on some of the rocks in a couple different areas of the waterfalls as well. The ride up to Dalat from Nha Trang took us through a lot of countryside, a lot of farming area. I was really amazed at how well they use the land, well or efficiently, perhaps is the name. Even steep sides of mountains were terraced, and different types of crops were planted on the sides of relatively steep hills and mountains. So they utilize that land to the fullest extent. The Dalat area is known for growing a great variety of vegetables and flowers and that type of thing. And as we got closer to town, you could see the mountainsides and the valleys just covered in greenhouses, or nurseries, what some people call. And if you're going to ride a bus like that one back there, it broke down. Didn't see many trucks on this road. The ones we saw were moving very slowly up and very slowly down. I did see 3 or 4 different emergency pull-offs for like trucks and vehicles that lose their brakes. And I did not hear any engine brakes on those vehicles, so they're just relying on their lower gears. Did get a little bit foggy, misty up as we got through one section of the mountain. Kind of interesting. I suspect one reason maybe we're taking this route is you can see down below they're just covered in greenhouses, nurseries. I suspect we're taking this route because one of the other routes probably gets a lot of that truck traffic, and it would be a lot slower going, getting stuck behind big heavy vehicles. slow-moving vehicles. And you can see off there, see all those greenhouses. Some of the valleys like this, the whole area, everything you could see would be covered in the greenhouses, the nurseries, growing flowers and herbs and vegetables. I would suggest if you take a tour like this here or Philippines or anywhere, that if you have comfort issues, back issues, that type of thing, that you take the larger, more comfortable bus. We took I think a 15-passenger van, and it was a rough ride. In many sections, it was very rough. There you can see the nurseries, the greenhouses back there. And for miles and miles and miles, you would just see valleys and mountainside terraced with these things. I think this was about a 2.5-hour trip up and back. We did take, I think, a 15-20 minute break here at one of these rest stops, well supplied, and you could get snake liquor here. They had large jars with snake liquor. Look at these types of carvings they have here. Just amazing artwork there. Had very clean and adequate restrooms, CRs, WCs, whatever you call them in your area. You could get snacks and drinks and that type of thing here. We were told that our tour guide would be English speaking, and he was, to the point that he knew it. For instance, he pointed to this sign and he read it to me, Domaine de Marais. And I think he pointed to a train sign too when we were at a train depot, and he read the sign, train depot, to me. I don't blame him for that. I blame the tour operator. Most of the people were English speaking with us, but they also spoke Chinese and or Vietnamese. One of our first stops in town was this lake here, and there was an explanation in Chinese, and my Filipino friend finally asked after the explanation what it was. Could he explain that in English? And one of the Chinese English-speaking people said, "It's a lake." So I'm glad they cleared that up. In fact, I read online there's a story about that. It's a man-made lake. There again, I don't blame him for not speaking English. I blame the tour operator. Everybody on our tour, I believe, spoke and understood English except our tour guide. And there again, there's nurseries, greenhouses in the background there. And I will do a second video of our visit around different areas in town. There's a place called Crazy House, very interesting architectural, indeed, crazy house. I'll do a video about that. We visited a Catholic church, cathedral type place. Had a real nice dinner at a restaurant in town. It is, you can tell by the architecture, it is a very strong French influence. Looks very European. Dalat is an interesting town. It's a big tourist draw. So you got lots of tourist buses up there. A lot of people catering to the tourists. You'll see this sign around in many Asian countries, and it's because many Asian countries use squat toilets, and when they put Western style toilets in, some people don't know how to use them, so they climb up on the rim and then they fall off and get injured. And perhaps make a bit of a mess. Now, there's nothing wrong with squat toilets. I think the Japanese Parliament had a debate some years ago, and they said, no, we don't want Western style. You strengthen your haunches by squatting down. There can be advantages to going on a tour package. Number one, I think they get very good rates so that your total cost is reduced. On a trip like this in Vietnam, where most people don't speak English, my friend speaks some Vietnamese, so that would have been helpful. But I had suggested we rent a motorbike and just drive up. But the tour has a package, places for you to go, and schedules for you to meet. I was told that there are a number of things to see up there. You can rent like a motorbike taxi, and they can take you around for a day for about 800,000 pesos, something like that, or not pesos, Vietnamese dong, and show you a silk farm where they have the silkworms that make the cocoons and the silk, and a number of other things. We didn't see all that, but we did see quite a bit. And here's a quick look at a map just to show you where it is. We started out in Nha Trang, which is a big tourist city. A lot of Russians, a lot of Chinese there, a lot of other people from Europe, and met a couple people from the U.S. If you go straight south of there, you go to Cam Ranh. Cam Ranh Bay is there. Used to be a big military base for the U.S. during the war. And I think we went past the airport rather than taking what looks like a more logical route straight to the west out of Nha Trang. That road there, maybe that road gets a lot of truck traffic. Maybe that's why we took a different route. But anyway, I believe we took the southern route. I believe the airport there at Cam Ranh services that whole area. That's where I had to fly out of. And then we went up one of those roads up through the mountains up there. And then up in the central highlands, you have Dalat, the capital of that area in the central highlands. Thank you for watching. Please like the video. Please share the video. Please subscribe. Safe travels to you all wherever you're at. And we'll see you next time.